Welcome to differentdream.com. My name is Jolene Philo, and I'm so glad you've joined us today for another episode of the vlog series, A Different Dream for My Child. I'm reading aloud from my book for parents of kids with special needs called A Different Dream for My Child, Meditations for Parents of Critically and Chronically Ill Children. And I started this vlog series because I remember so well what it's like to be the parent of a child with special needs. And I remember all the decisions I had to make day after day, hour after hour, and how hard it was to always be the one that had to be doing something. So I started this vlog series because I wanted to give you a chance to just sit back and let someone else do something for you. So, if you want to get a cup of coffee, now's the time. You can get that and then put your feet up and shut your eyes and I'll begin reading. Today I'm going to be reading from a devotional that's called What Did I Do Wrong? It deals with a subject many parents of kids with special needs, including me, struggle with, and that is guilt. So let's find out what wisdom I learned from other parents who also struggled with the guilt monster when their kids with special needs were young. Here we go, and we'll start with Job 7:20 from the New American Standard Version of the Bible. Have I sinned? What have I done to you, O watcher of men? Before the fallout from our son's diagnosis had time to settle, before any urgent calls could be made, before my son was flown away for surgery, the questions began. What did I do to cause this? Was it the 2 drinks I had at the wedding rehearsal before I knew I was pregnant? Or is it a punishment from God for something from my past? I'm not the only mom who has engaged in self-inflicted torture. When Brenda learned that both her son and daughter had crippling arthrogryposis, a condition that weakens joints and muscles, similar questions plagued her. I had lots of internal conversations. I must have caused this, or something I did cause this. You just go through that. Maybe not everybody else does, but I did. Angie agrees. Her son Chandler completed 3 years of successful cancer treatment the year he turned 10. Even now, it drives me nuts. Did I drink something when I was pregnant? Did I breathe in something and the fumes were too much? Did I get bad chicken? That is a big monster to wrestle with. Dads torture themselves too. Chuck thought he was responsible for his children's medical conditions. His first son was born with both liver and bowel outside of his body. His second son died at birth because a bronchiogenic cyst blocked his airway. I always thought it was my fault. I thought maybe my partying at college had ruined my gene pool. I felt responsible. I felt a lot of guilt. Self-blame also tortured Lynn when his daughter was born without a brain. Since his nephew had been severely developmentally disabled, his mind made a predictable jump to his own child's condition. I was the dad, said Lynn. It was my fault. Many parents of sick children wrestle with the guilt monster, but if it pins you down, it can paralyze you. So quit torturing yourself with unanswerable questions and useless blame. To stop the thoughts, tell someone what you're thinking. That's what I did, and when I confided in my husband Hiram, his face became grave. Those are lies, Jolene, he said. Don't listen to them. You're a good mother. My husband was right. The self-inflicted blame and the questions were lies. They were whispers from an enemy who wanted to turn my thoughts to inward torture rather than to the God of comfort. My enemy wanted me to focus on a past I couldn't alter instead of on the present where God had work for me to do. Even if the doctors had found a correlation between my behavior and my child's condition, God wouldn't have wanted me to wallow in guilt. He would want me to admit my mistake and seek His strength to change the way I live. That's why you need to voice your guilty questions too. The minute you do, and someone speaks truth back to you, the lies in your head will be mortally wounded. They'll try to resurrect themselves now and then, but the truth is too strong for them, and they will slowly bleed away. Your child doesn't need a parent paralyzed by guilt. Your child needs a parent empowered and motivated by the truth. So give voice to the unrelenting whispers in your head and wait for God to speak eternal, comforting truth that will change your heart. Let's pray. Dear God of truth, please stop the whispers in my head. Please expose the lies that lead to guilt and isolation and shame. Speak truth and open my ears so I can hear it. Lead me to your truth so I am present for my child. And here are a few questions you might want to reflect upon before turning off this video. What guilty questions have plagued you since your child's diagnosis? What questions can you ask the doctor or a chaplain to dispel your grief and your guilt? Well, that's it for today's reading. If this devotional brings up any thoughts or has you thinking of a comment that you'd like to share, or if you'd like to just talk about how you resolved the guilt you were dealing with about your child with special needs, I'd love to read what you have to say. So you can go down to the bottom of this page if you like and leave a comment. Once again, I'll be back next week with another devotional from A Different Dream for My Child. Until then, stay safe and stay well.